I know you love the horn, but there's actually a purpose for this. All right, you ready?
Barely hear that piece of shit horn off.
Are you prepared to be amazed? What's up?
What the hell just happened?
Isn't that pretty cool? They're like, it's like hidden. Then if I put it into sport mode, then it does that.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
What's going on, everyone? Dalt here with Leasing Parts in the ScrapLife Garage. Welcome back to the channel. The Juke build is in full effect. We are going to be making some high horsepower with this thing.
Stop it. Stop calling it high horsepower. It's 400.
It's high horsepower for this thing.
That's 2022 Honda Accord.
We'll see what he has to say when this thing is faster than any one of the cars that he has on the road.
Excuse me, guys. Hi, my name's Lee. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I have a Tesla that is going to smoke this piece of crap no matter what, so...
It actually might be a good race. So, we got something planned in the works to test this thing after we get the build completed. The guys down at 2J Racing have sent us the entire package for this car, which honestly is not a lot. These cars come very well equipped. There are no modifications to the fuel system needed. Higher octane fuel, a turbo, and a tune is the basic gist of it with the supporting mods. You can see we already have the driveline out of the car. If you're curious about the engine removal, you can check the first video where we went over that. We are jumping right in, starting with the teardown of the motor, transmission, and getting the performance parts put on the car. I didn't think there were any more bolts. So we've been doing a little comparing of turbo sizes with other cars that we have around the shop. Now that the stock turbo is off, it is time for us to compare the new one to that. Oh hell yeah! So I saw them doing that yesterday.
Shit.
Yeah, I saw them out there taking pictures. That's awesome. So I took the R8 home last night and I was driving through town. I saw these two women taking a picture outside the hair salon, and look at that, they got the R8 driving by.
What are the chances?
Yeah, that the R8 basically got caught in the act just driving through town, and then somebody posted it to Facebook and Alex ended up finding it. Who wants to help pull the Juke trans?
Yep. Is that a twin disc?
Imagine how much it would suck if I got all the way in here and like it was upgraded already. This thing, honestly, it's easy as friggin' pie to get on and off.
If you lose a slave cylinder in this car, That's not easy as pie. So it's give and take, right?
It's just like the LSs though. You just have to take off the trans, so it's really no different. It's not like that's that uncommon or anything like that.
I know the big
Inconvenient,
thing with
but
the Nissan world's to switch to like the external sleeves or whatever.
Huh.
So they're like serviceable from,
well,
outside of the bell housing.
I do have a brand new slave for this, so hopefully we will not have an issue. That's what we're looking for. I think we have the first official stickers for the new lifts.
To keep the authenticity, it should only be applied to the lift that, the car's been worked on.
The only stickers that go on the new lift are parts that were installed on them.
Or if you're like dismantling a car and you find a sticker in it, like as long as the car or the sticker originated from this lift or a part ordered for a car that's currently on the lift, I think I have that right, it can be applied to this said lift.
Yeah, the old ones we didn't have any rules. We just threw all the stickers on them.
Wild, wild west.
Yeah, so these ones we're going to establish some more rules on. Okay.
Yeah.
Officially being christened. Boom. How toasted do you think this thing's gonna be? Stock clutch, 42,000 miles. No idea who the previous owner was. Could have been some little old lady.
Have you noticed it slipping or anything?
No, I mean, we've been ripping on it pretty good too.
I think it's gonna look brand new.
Brand new, all right, let's see. Nope, not this one. Blend it in.
That looks weird, man.
It does look really weird. Maybe it's so heat worn, it's like pinned together.
Pry bar.
Yeah, where'd you put that pry bar? Ooh.
Wow, okay.
That is not looking like it's brand new.
That
Wow.
sounds wrong.
That is, for low, like as low mileage as this car is, that's a little bit surprising.
I mean, is 42,000 miles really that low when you're talking about a race car?
I feel like these cars are like, I don't know, man, like 100,000 mile cars, you're going to change a clutch that'll look like this, not 40,000. It must have been somebody that like drives like you that owned this thing, you know what I mean? That just can't work a clutch.
That's very possible. I mean, I have driven this, so what's the disc look like?
Oh,
Wow.
God, look at that, look at the disc. Look at that thing had some serious heat going through. You see all the blue?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's almost down to the rivet
Yeah.
on some of these. Actually, that one like is almost down to the rivet. So
Oh,
I'm actually glad I'm doing this because this thing probably would have started making some noise relatively soon, I would imagine. All righty.
Welp, clutch masters, baby.
So we are going by the book on this one. What Clutchmaster says to do is go ahead and install all the bolts, torque to 20 foot-pounds to start, and then one by one remove them, put Loctite on them, and then when you install it, torque to the final number of 85 foot-pounds. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna do 2 rounds. I'm gonna go to 50 and then I'm gonna go to 85. All right, ready? This is gonna be a little bit more torque. God damn. Sure, somebody in the comments is gonna yell at me about having an extension on it, so let's go ahead and do 1 round. Ready?
That is not putting the torque on square or anything?
Yeah, it just flex. That is double and triple checked. I think we should be good to go. Let's get the clutch on.
Stage you see?
All the stages, Eric.
All the stages?
All the stages.
Okay.
All in one clutch.
That much power, huh?
If you only knew. These only get torqued to 20 foot-pounds, so this shouldn't be very much at all. I just need you to keep it stationary. All right, ready?
Yep.
Alrighty. Still pretty good with that, hopefully. Here we go. Hopefully it just slides right on. Then let the top down just a hair. I am like on my dowel. There we go. All right, Fred. That went about as easy as installing a transmission can possibly go. Honestly, the clutch swap on this is just super simple.
Good old internal waste heat pump.
You're not supposed to have these problems with a tiny baby turbo.
I went ahead and just kind of did a rough little test fit on this guy here. We're waiting on some gaskets and water lines, and then we can go ahead and get that all tightened down. I was able to bend the stock oil drain, so we're going to reuse that. All the other lines are going to have to be changed though, which is no problem. For those that are paying attention, you may have noticed that the intake manifold is off of the motor, and that unfortunately is not a good thing. We kind of ran into a little snag. On the front here, I didn't notice when we put the car back together, there were two nipples that were off of this that the brake booster line and then I believe maybe the blow-off valve line came off of. These were both actually cracked, so they had a vacuum leak on it. What I tried to do was I tried to ground them off and then flatten them out, and I was going to go ahead and use a fitting to thread in there, but there's not enough meat there for it to actually grab into, and I don't trust it for the boost level that this car is going to be running. So what that leaves us with is that I think I'm going to have to get another intake manifold for this car. The manifold off of the white Juke also had an issue, and the other one is still attached to the motor. So I kind of just cut myself off because I wasn't even thinking about the fact that we have the complete motor from the black car that we were selling as an entire dropout unit. So if I take the manifold off of that one and we just rephoto it, that might be my best route. Fernando!
Yep.
Where is the Juke motor dropout? Don't tell me you lost it, Fernando. Yeah, oh, no, I think it's right there. All right.
No, this thing has it.
No, the one behind it.
Oh, it's true? Okay.
Yeah. You already photoed it, right?
Yeah, it's good to go.
These right here were the culprits, and they are fine. All right, I gotta go do some negotiating with Lee, I guess. I don't know why. I wasn't even thinking about it. We have the complete dropout from the black car that has a good intake manifold on it.
I just looked at Juke on eBay and I didn't see that.
So I don't think it's listed yet. But I'm sitting there, I'm spinning in my head. I'm like, dude, that's not like it's not a swap motor. You know, no one's gonna need the intake manifold. It's like a replacement. You know what I mean? All right, well, that was easy. I thought you were gonna like at least debate me just for like, you know, the video content of you, you know, acting like a hard ass.
Sometimes common sense is just common sense.
All right, all right. crisis averted with the intake manifold. One thing that I have found with these cars that is extremely frustrating though is that parts are not available for them. The local parts warehouses between Auto Plus, AutoZone, they can't get anything for the car. I call over to the Nissan dealership and they have nothing in stock. I have to go over that way to get the turbo gasket so we can get this thing back in the car. I was like, hey, I'll call, just add the intake manifold and the throttle body gasket to it, seeing that it looks like this exact same intake manifold is used on some Sentra models also, and the throttle body looks to be the same one that comes on every single Nissan ever, basically. GTR, 370Z, the Infiniti G37 Sports. Looks like the same throttle body. They don't have it in stock. They can't get it until tomorrow. I really love this design, how this is actually fire ringed and it's not just reliant on the gasket. Pretty cool to see on an OEM car. So for whatever reason, these studs are actually bottoming out before it actually tightens down. So luckily, I found some replacement. These are grade 10.9 bolts that came off of an LS car. So thanks Chevy for using the same bolt threads.
I would have done a 2-bay manifold, but I guess if it's, you know, it's only going to be 400 horsepower or whatever.
Tightening down now. Don't say shit like that. What the hell is wrong with you?
I was thinking about that.
I hope that showed up on camera. Jackass.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah, seriously. I don't know who does that shit. I don't mean to be a jerk or anything, but did you make sure that you can get the V-band on still?
I was...
That it's not going to touch the top of that bolt head?
Honestly, if that happens, I'm just cutting the bolt head.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get on. I think I am going to have to grind those. No, I got to get it to Josh hopefully tonight so he can do his shit so I can take it down to Atlanta next weekend.
I was whipped his head around. He's like, you said midnight?
Yeah, exactly, right?
He was double checking, making sure. Is that engine still there?
Yeah, it's still out of the car, Tyler. You heard that right.
I'd say this is exciting, but it's a Nissan Juke.
Stop. Go ahead for me. Alright, stop there. Yeah, just I'm gonna change the angle on this coolant pipe. Yeah, this thing is like literally right into this cow shit right here. I mean, this has to go to there.
Oh, wow.
I'm almost wondering if it's supposed to be more rotated. All right, round 3, you can see we have the turbo rotated much more. Before it was kind of parallel with the back of the motor, and this was hitting on the windshield cowl. So I had to move the wastegate actuator up above the motor. You can see it's above the valve cover now, because before it was basically running into it, and now we have it rotated a whole lot more. And it looks like this backside here, there's plenty of room to just turn the downpipe there first and then go down.
Clearance.
We are in there, boys and girls. It is a tight squeeze, a little bit of massaging on the firewall, but it is in there. I think we have our angles essentially as good as we possibly can. And man, that is looking like a pretty decent sized turbo on the back of this little motor in this engine bay. I am going to go ahead and get everything else buttoned back up. I will be picking it back up first thing bright and early tomorrow morning when we drop it off at JCH Weld Fab. Break. First time for everything, right? So yeah, so this is our starting point with the intercooler if it's gonna work. Outlet back to the turbo. And then this side, I don't know if you think it's gonna be easiest if we wanna use this core and basically just flip that end tank upside down maybe. 90 degree right on top to come over to right here to then go up to the throttle body because there's not anywhere else on this side to go through it. Modify the intercooler, piping to the turbo and to the throttle body, then intake pipe over into the corner here, and then just down pipe.
Mating flange or no?
I do, yes. Okay. It is in the, I got that one because they're apparently unique to this turbo. But that is it. I mean, it's a little bit of work, but it's pretty simple, straightforward stuff for you. So I'm excited to pick this thing up when you're done.
Great.
Well, guys, this is kind of an awkward spot to pick up the video here. Been running around like crazy, both Lee and I'm trying to hustle to get the Juke down to 2J Racing down in Georgia. I wasn't paying attention and I went past the weigh station. Being that I have the bigger trailer with me right now, there's, you know, a couple DOT regulations that you have to abide by. I misunderstood that because this truck is under 26,000 pounds, I didn't know I had to stop at the weigh station. But ultimately, that's on me for not knowing the rules. So, fingers crossed here. He seems like a pretty nice guy, but at the same time, you know, there's violations. So we'll see what we come back with. Hopefully, he takes it easy on me.
There's just the 2 violations. Again, no tickets or anything like that. I would recommend go to the first store you can, or go to a first truck stop you see. Grab it, so that way you don't just have that.
Sure.
If you get stopped again, you might not get such a lenient.
Sure.
So that way you guys don't get handed up. Okay?
Sure.
All right. So
Thanks again, man. Appreciate it. I know that people are usually hard on Virginia cops, but honestly, he was extremely reasonable. I'm very grateful that I got somebody that was, because that could have been a whole lot worse. He took the opportunity to actually kind of educate me on what I needed to do, and also, you know, kind of essentially gave me an out, told me what I could do to where, you know, I didn't have any actual violations. I do need to stop and get an actual paper log. What I did will kind of work short term, but to be more official, I really need that logbook. I'm gonna keep on driving, guys. We're on a tight timeline here. When I get the car down to where it's going, I will actually recap everything, kind of go over. I told you it's been a crazy couple days, so I will get everybody up to speed. I'm sorry that this is just so disjointed between where I left off previously and this. Well, guys, this is just really not going smoothly. Yeah, so it looks like we just lost the wheel bearing. So we're gonna have to just try and limp it up. There's a travel center right up the street here. So we're just gonna have to try and limp it up there, see maybe we can get it replaced there, or see, I might have to run it just with the 2 axles and maybe move the load around a little bit. unfortunately, it looks like we are gonna have to replace the axle on the trailer. It looks like that bearing basically welded itself to the trailer. They couldn't even get the actual nut off. It was so stuck on there. So unfortunately, it is what it is. We got all the other wheels as greased up as we can, which leaves me as confident as I can be in being able to get the Juke down to Georgia and complete my trip back home. So I will check in with you guys here in a little bit. We're here. Guys, we made it. 2J Racing. I'm about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later than I was anticipating. It is getting dark very, very quickly. The back end of this video, I apologize if it feels very disjointed. I was not prepared for the events of today. I was expecting to get here, be able to do a cool walk around, meet Joe, check out the shop, and obviously none of that happened. I'm gonna get the cars unloaded. What I do wanna do though is show you the underhood of the Juke. I was waiting to do it in the daylight. We have just a little bit left. I have not even looked under the hood of it, and I 100% trust what Josh at JCH Weld Fab did. I'm sure it is exactly what we talked about, but I just had not had the time. I picked it up when it was dark. I needed to get it down here, and I just didn't have a chance to stop. So let's take a quick peek at it together as I am sending you all off. There is gonna be plenty of more content with the Juke. The next video should be wild and crazy. We'll see how much power this thing makes, and then also see what cars we can race it against. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate the support as always. We'll see you in the next video. Oh yeah, look at that.